All right, let's talk about one of the biggest secrets to sounding way more natural in Spanish. We're talking about adjectives. I know. They can seem kind of confusing at first, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll see they're actually built on just a couple of super simple rules.
So, you've probably been there, right? You're trying to describe something in Spanish, and you realize that one super simple English word suddenly has like 4 different options in Spanish. It's a classic roadblock for learners, but don't worry, we are going to clear that all up today.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. In English, it's just tall, easy, one word, done. But then you jump over to Spanish, and suddenly you're juggling alto, alta, altos, and altas. It looks like a lot, I get it, but I promise you, there's a really simple logic behind all of this.
So, what's the big secret? It all comes down to one core idea: adjective agreement. Okay, I know that sounds like a scary grammar term, but don't tune out. It's actually super simple. All it means is that in Spanish, adjectives have to, agree with the noun they're describing. They have to match. It's not just random chaos, it's a system.
And here's the best part. This whole agreement thing, it really just boils down to 2 and only 2 simple rules. You just have to make sure your adjective matches the noun in 2 ways. First, its gender. Is it masculine or feminine? And second, its number. Is it singular or plural? That's literally it. 2 things to check. Let's dive into the first one.
All right, let's kick things off with rule number 1, matching gender. Honestly, if you can nail this one, you are well over halfway home.
Okay, so here's the most common pattern you're going to see like 90% of the time. If an adjective ends in an O, it's masculine. And to make it feminine, you just swap that O for an A. Simple as that. It's super predictable, which is great.
Let's look at a perfect example. We have el libro rojo, the red book. Okay, so libro is a masculine noun. That means the adjective red has to be masculine too. So we use rojo with that O at the end. See? They match.
Now let's flip it. We've got la casa roja, the red house. The word casa is a feminine noun. So what do you think happens to our adjective? Yep, it has to change to match. So rojo becomes roja. It's like they're a team. Okay, so right about now you're probably thinking, sure, that works for words ending in O, but what about all the other ones? What about an adjective like grande for big or azul for blue? That is an excellent question, and it's exactly what we're going to cover next.
And here's some good news. This table breaks it down perfectly. See that top row? That's the AO and IA rule we just talked about. But now look at the other 2. Adjectives that end in E or a consonant. They're even easier because they don't change for gender. How great is that? So it's el hombre inteligente and la mujer inteligente. The adjective doesn't budge. Same for consonants. El coche azul, la camisa azul. The adjective stays the same for both masculine and feminine. That's one less thing to worry about.
Okay, so you've basically got the gender part down. Awesome. Now it's time for the second and final piece of the puzzle, matching the number. This is just about singular versus plural. One thing or lots of things. And you're going to love this because the rules here are also super straightforward. To make an adjective plural, if it ends in a vowel, you just tack on an S. So rojo becomes rojos, easy. If it ends in a consonant, you just add es. So azul becomes azules. And that's pretty much it. That's the whole rule. Let's see how this works with a little side-by-side comparison. On the left, el libro rojo. When we make it plural, it becomes los libros rojos. Notice everything gets pluralized. Same thing here. La casa grande becomes las casas grandes. You just add an S to both. Once you see the pattern, it becomes second nature.
All right, we've tackled gender, we've tackled number, you're almost there. There's just one last little detail we need to talk about that's going to make everything fall into place, and that is word order.
Now, this is one of those things that can feel a little weird for English speakers at first. Think about it. We say the White House. Adjective first, noun second. But in Spanish, you flip it. The golden rule, especially when you're starting out, is that the adjective almost always comes after the noun. So you don't say la blanca casa, you say la casa blanca, literally the house white. Getting this one little switch right will make you sound so much more natural instantly.
Okay, so we've covered all the pieces. We've got gender, number, and word order. Now, let's pull it all together into a super simple checklist you can use every single time you need to describe something.
Here it is, your new best friend, the 4-step adjective checklist. Ready? Step 1, find your noun. What are you describing? Step 2, figure out its gender. masculine or feminine. Step 3, figure out its number, singular or plural. And finally, step 4, make the adjective match. It's a little mental process that guarantees you get it right every single time.
Okay, enough talking. Theory is great, but practice is where it really sinks in. You've got the rules, you've got the checklist, so you ready to put it to the test?
All right, here we go. This is a super common mistake. On the screen, you see La Casa Roja. How would you fix that? Go ahead, take a second. Run it through that checklist in your head. Did you get it? The correct answer is La Casa Roja. Nice! Why? Well, casa is our noun, right? And casa is feminine. So the adjective has to be feminine too, which means it has to end in a. Perfect.
Okay, you did great on that one. Let's try another. This one's a little trickier because it involves two of our rules. How would you fix los coches azul?
And the correct answer here is los coches azules. Let's break it down. First, coches is plural, so we know the adjective needs to be plural. Second, azul ends in a consonant. And what's the rule for that? We add es. See how the rules just stack on top of each other? It's a perfect system.
You know, if there's one simple way to think about all of this, it's this. In Spanish, adjectives are like loyal little companions. They just want to stick with their noun and make sure they always match. It's a great way to remember the main idea here.
And there you have it. You've totally cracked the code. What seemed complicated before is really just a simple logical system. So, now that you've unlocked the secret of Spanish adjectives, what are you going to master next?